I stopped and bent down between Joe and Skeeter. Y'all gotta go take care of making the boogie happen. What do you want us to play? Joe asked. I don't care. Just something with a beat to it that I can maybe shake my groove thing to a little bit. I figure if I humiliate myself for a few minutes, Granny will let me sit back down and we can get on with the figuring out how to keep my mama from marrying some jackass fairy. And the whole finding your sister part of the trip, Skeeter said. Yeah, that too. But that's backburnered until we can deprogram Mama and get the hell out of this castle. I'm pretty sure Natalia ain't here, and that means she's still in danger wherever she is. Yeah, because she'd be so safe here, Amy muttered. I couldn't disagree with her. After all, I was pretty sure I was about to do a fairyland dance-off to keep my sociopathic magical grandmother from murdering us all and serving redneck spleen for dessert. I took Amy by the hand and stepped to the middle of the floor. The dancers and musicians cleared a space for us, and I took a bow. Hey y'all, I reckon most of you know who I am. I'm Queen Mab's grandson, Robert, but y'all can call me Bubba. Granny asked me to give y'all an example of how we cut a rug back in my part of the world, and my lovely assistant, Amy, has volunteered to help out. I gestured over to where Amy stood, all decked out.
My Amy?
In her green gown, with those glorious boobies pushed up to say hello to the whole room. She curtsied, and I realized that the curtsy was probably invented right along with the corset or the medieval invention equivalent to the push-up bra, because one bow in that dress and Amy might put out her own eye. So my buddy Skeeter and his uncle, Father Joe, are going to provide some musical accompaniment. Hit it, boys. I waved to our impromptu backing band, and Skeeter started pounding out a rhythm on the drum he'd confiscated from a very confused fairy musician. Now let's be clear, I ain't a dancer. I ain't even as much a dancer as Robert Earl Keen, and he put out an album called No Kind of Dancer. But I can shake my big fat ass enough to keep from getting murdered in my granny's ballroom. So that's what I did. Skeeter and Joe started off with a simple two-step, and I managed to parade Amy around the floor without stepping on her feet a couple more times. With a nod to Skeeter, they switched to a slower waltz rhythm, and we 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a few more laps. Then Granny decided that I was not being appropriately humiliated and hollered out, "This is boring, grandson. Entertain me, or I shall start lopping off fingers from your squire." Skeeter, his being the fingers in jeopardy, didn't even miss a beat. He gave me a 3-second drum roll, then broke into the pounding beat of that classic hit, Macarena. I shot him a dirty look, but slapped my hands on my hips and Macarenaed the best I could remember for about 12 bars. Then Skeeter changed up the beat again, and it got real Soul Train real fast. Amy stepped up beside me, and right after my last hip thrust into my third time through the Macarena, she tagged herself in and started doing the Running Man to Skeeter's half-assed backbeat. Joe handed his weird guitar off to another fairy musician and walked out to the floor. He stepped right up into Amy's face like we were doing Step Off Volume 17 or something, and started doing that weird-ass sprinkler dance where he put his hand on his head and started jerking around like a bodhrán. Mab was grinning at us acting stupid, and the fairies were getting into it, so I figured the dumber we looked, the less likely we were to get murdered. Looking dumb is not a challenge for me, especially when there's music. It works better with tequila, but I figured dryad tears and apple juice can get me there. So I got a running start, slid up to Amy on my knees and yelled out, "Hey, sexy lady. Then I hopped to my feet, ignored the shotgun pops that came from my kneecaps, and started dancing Gangnam Style. Complete with the crazy cowboy dance, spanking my own ass. Not to be outdone, Joe, the Catholic priest and Knight Templar, holy avenger and enforcer of God's will on earth, remember, sprinted to the far end of the hall, hollered out, "Nobody puts baby in a corner," and came at me in a dead run. Well, I've seen Dirty Dancing, so I knew what was up. He took a flying leap, and I played Patrick Swayze to his Jennifer Grey, catching him around the waist and hoisting him high over my head and spinning him around with my arms fully extended. "This ain't as easy as it looks." I grunted through clenched teeth as I held his 220 pounds over my head. "Neither is this," Joe whispered. "You're pushing on my belly and I've really got a fart." Then he did. And my head was enveloped in the most noxious damn green cloud I've smelled since my last serious beer hangover. I'm pretty sure half my damn beard fell out, and I threw Joe up into the air and ran out from under him. I kind of hoped he'd land on his face. I kind of hoped he'd land on his feet, but after the bomb he just laid on my face, I also kind of didn't give a shit. But he stuck the landing and held out his hands to me and Amy. We stepped forward and bowed to the cheering, clapping fairies on all four sides, then made one last bow back to Granny Mab, who stood from her throne to give us polite applause. I reckon the sight of two idiot men throwing each other around like demented pro wrestlers was good enough to spare us from execution. Mab held up her hands, and the room fell silent, just like flipping a switch. "Thank you, Robert, for that lovely demonstration. Truly, the dances of your homeland are impressive. But now it is time for the evening's true entertainment. Let the tournament to find a suitable husband for my daughter begin." I looked around at my friends and saw the same thought reflected in their eyes. Well, shit. Now what?